something to be said about hard-nosed full contact. It's like that raw rap all the way back to boom bap. Spikes up, Ty Cobb inspired, killing the corners. Heating up with recklessness, we still getting warmer. Nevertheless, nothing can test, we bring it best. Wile E. Coyote mixed with Roadrunner, full comers. Holding your title hostage, the kings we smoke others. You're either with us or against us, it doesn't matter which. Scouting your weakness, we bring the wrath when we hit. There's never been a squad as raw as trash can spit. You might get bashed with a stick while I'm pounding the fence. Look around, you're a fish while I'm rounding it quick. Take a look at the base and sprint off with a fist in your face. No remorse, no mercy, no force can hurt me. The scouts purposely bring the pain, come try to work me. But there's a crew of dirty cats.
How about now? Yeah, see, it helps when you don't mute the mic. The cord came out. All right.
Yeah,
now we're in business.
Yeah.
Let's try that again. I'm like the Cardinals GM trying to hire a head coach here. Can't get my shit together.
I mean, like the Cardinals, period. Jesus.
Anyway, hey, welcome to another Wednesday evening here at the Glue Guys program, folks. Whether you like it, learn to love it, because it's the best thing going today. You know, you could live your life literally just repeating Ric Flair promos and things he said over his career, and you'd have a really good life. I'd really love to try that sometime. But I'd have to learn so many.
Yeah,
it's so good, man. I found an account on Instagram. It's called No Context Flair Memes. So they take a Flair promo and then they'll type something in like, when you come home at 4 a.m., after a night out or whatever, and it's Flair. It's so good without the context. It's so good. But anyway, that's something to check out. No Context Flair Memes on Instagram. If you're an old school wrestling guy, you will absolutely appreciate it. Let's open the program by giving some flowers. Your own word. I'm going to use it against you. All right. The Gray Space podcast. You were recently a guest. I have shared it. I have posted it. It's off the Glue Guys one. It's off of my personal one. The link is there, folks. So if you have not watched it already, we don't ask much of you from this program. We don't beg you to buy different shit and tell you to go visit this, that. We try to keep it under wraps, low key. Clean. We don't want to push anything on
clean.
You. But, for all you guys who are like, oh, I watch the show or I support the show, here's a way to really fucking support. All right? Go watch the interview that Marlos recently did with the Grace podcast. Shout out to those guys, because I watch it and I it's very hard as a host, take it from me because I'm the worst offender, to sit back and let a show create itself. When you have a guest or a segment, to let it breathe. Let the guest walk themselves through the story. I need work, man. Those guys were phenomenal. They knew when to come in with a question and knew when to kind of let you run your answer out. And I was very impressed with that. It was a little over an hour, but it felt like it was 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So it had a really good feel. It rolls along. It never gets lagged down. So please, I can't recommend enough to go watch it. Not to mention, I think I put in a post, why don't you learn some history? Learn some history. You hear the songs, you hear our theme song, obviously. Shout out to Paco there, my Philly brother, BP Mercenaries. But, we tell you all the time, we make half joking that all those pictures behind Marlos are album covers. All right, it's not one or two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right.
Yeah, I don't really know how many it is. I don't know. It's all up there. Yeah. I don't even know what it is.
At one point, he released 12 in a year. So, I joke with him all the time, like, hey, I got you, that quarter of a penny today. I listened to this song off of this record on my Apple Music. Yeah, learn the history of where all this stuff came from. I don't know if you people realize this. If you're a fan of the show, you realize that Marlos is a very deep thinker. All right. Now, look, we got to go savage on you once in a while. All right, I get it. We got to go Pulp Fiction, but there's always thought behind it. Even if he's whooping your ass lyrically, there's still thought behind it. It's never a blind rage. So I implore you to please go watch that and learn some stuff, man. I run my mouth most of the time on this show, but I'm telling you, I say it and I mean it, and this interview proves it. You are the brains of the operation. So I wanted to get that out first. And then my question for you for this week's show, sir, as I try to get more to be a deep thinker like yourself, my question is this to you. Who shot ya?
I mean, there's a couple ways you could take that, though. I mean, you could absolutely separate the weak from the obsolete. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You could separate the weak from the obsolete, but for what it's worth, what about the LL? What about the LL joint?
Now see, this is the great thing about what I'm trying to do with this new, I don't know, called segment, right? I don't give you a heads up what I'm going to ask, so I get a natural reaction. And as I comb through all my favorite either old school jams or maybe a new thing that isn't mumble rap and I can understand the question they're asking. And I try to find stuff. Now, obviously, there was no question I had to open the segment with a Tribe Called Quest, obviously, which is also one of my favorite questions ever asked in a rap song, because not only do they ask it once, they ask it through the whole hook, and they always have a different answer when they ask it. So that is why that is one of my all-time. Tribe was just, again, we share a love for that. It was above a lot of the shit out at the time. So, like a dungeon dragon, even though it's not real, that's
different
busted,
song, but
still,
it's all good. Scenario,
yeah.
Hey, Scenario is still one of the songs that I think put Tribe on the proverbial map at the time. Not necessarily that they weren't there already, but I'm saying, like, I think most people when they heard Scenario were like, yo, this is some other different level extra shit. And then you couple that with the video at the time with some futuristic level shit, and it was they used a lot of Macintosh OS 7 backgrounds and shit like that, and it was like super futuristic at the time. Everybody thought it was the craziest thing you could have possibly done in a music video. So yeah, I'll take Scenario anytime, any day, and the remix.
Well, I think the thing was too, if you remember, that the gangster rap, the West Coast had its sound. It was very hard, right? It was very, very rigid, and the East Coast was more, had some outliers.
It was a little smoother.
Little more sample heavy with some of the funk 70s stuff. That's a little
jazz.
I don't want to say friendlier, but the chord progressions are more traditional. Stuff that's pleasing to the ear, to get technical musically. And I think Scenario had its own kind of harshness to it. Like the beat was kind of harsh compared to, the jazz stuff that Tribe liked to use.
The contemporary, I was going to say that. I was just going to say that, especially with it being Low End Theory, because Low End Theory had so much jazz influence. And to add to that, if you remember, it was the last song on the album. So it was also, it's kind of dope to hear them use that kind of sample, that kind of vibe for the beat, and then again having Legions of the New School on it at the time. Everything about it was just a change in direction right at the end of on the end of the album. It was classic.
Yeah, so that was at the time, 92 roughly. Award Tour was the song that grabbed me. The guitar riff
for Midnight Marauders though.
Yeah, the guitar riff there to this day still
1.5
like
on tip. God damn it.
That's always been the one that I always fell back to. But and it's sad because Midnight Marauders, and granted, the only reason I say this is because of the standard that they set themselves and the progression that I thought they were going. Midnight Marauders was kind of on the same level. Every other album there was a progression, and that one they kind of. But then learning from, as much as I'm not a huge fan of Michael Rappaport, his documentary was amazing. Yeah. I learned later, of the strife within the group, so that made a lot of goddamn sense.
Definitely.
Because they were having, Ryobi ended up being the glue, and he was kind of half there and half not. And so anyway, if you haven't seen a Tribe Called Quest documentary, just stop listening to rap music. Just stop. I'm not going to tell you to go watch it. You're too late. You had your chance. You are not allowed to listen to rap music anymore, okay? I hope you like Morgan Wallen or some country shit, all right? Because you're done with rap. Good luck. Although, I'll give you Vanilla Ice, all right? Any white rapper before Eminem, you're allowed to have, all right? But that's it. You can't listen to real rap. So anyway, a little journey down music lane, which we should talk more about because, honestly, I think Marlos and I started to forge our friendship when we discussed music, and to this day, I still believe he walked away going, there ain't no way that guy knows about Tribe Called Quest. There ain't no way.
Man. Nah. I'll just tell you, kind of like we talked about in our little pretext. I mean, I just don't trust a lot of people's audiences because, I think the one thing that makes me nervous more times than anything, when someone like yourself says, hey, I fuck with this, and then you can kind of tell me what you fuck with, and it's not like some weird subservient bullshit, then I'm a little more comfortable having a conversation, right? But a lot of the time you get dudes who say, especially for me at least, they'll be like, oh, hey, I heard you rapping shit, and then it turns weird. And they start going like doing shit like this, and hey, my God, and it's like, nah, dude, I'm good. I don't fucking rap nothing. I don't know shit about rap. Don't know shit about music. I'm good. I'm being honest. That's what happens. Like, dude, as soon as dudes start doing that shit, I'd be like, yeah, man, I don't even listen to music, bro. I just listen to general taps against the wall. I'm fucking good. I don't know. But yeah, dude, I appreciate that you know a little bit.
Would it be safe to say that sometimes your life turns into a Key and Peele skit?
That ass. Like, I mean, dude, like, look, I'm never going to complain about anybody referencing my music or whatever, the fact that I do music or, hey, I listen to this shit. I appreciate that. I don't want to sound like a cocksucker because I'm not, right? But on some real shit, it's always hot. Like, certain people don't know how to approach you about it. And so when they do, there's this uncomfortable moment where you're kind of like, are you being funny or you really fuck with it? Like, you know, and so then when you kind of let them talk, like me, at least I let them talk. They're like, yeah, I heard you fucking rap. I'm like, yeah. They'll be like, yeah. You know, I was listening to this song and I was like, yo, this shit is crazy. And I'll be like, yeah, that's cool. Thank you. And then they'll be like, nah, but listen, when you would, then I'll be like, oh, yeah, okay. But when the other ones get they going like, yeah, so you be rapping and shit. I'm like, nah, man.
But they look like
that's a time. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, fucking Long Beach Most Wanted or some bullshit. And because I'm just not a good fake motherfucker. But like, I know dudes. I have friends that are rappers or whatever, and anybody comes up to them, they turn on I'm a rapper, and they're like, yeah, you know, that's what I do. That's how I get down. You know what I'm saying? I'm always a little more chill about the shit. I got to make sure that we're having the same conversation. Like, if you being funny and you're like, ha, I heard you're a rapper, and I'm like, oh, fuck you. But if it's it's like, yo, I fuck with your shit, I'd be like, oh, well, you know what? I appreciate that. I try to do a little something or whatever. I don't know. It's always a weird duality for me.
I imagine that some Jersey Shore reject trying to talk to you about your songs and your verses and literally like fist pumping with like we were just talking about, or, you know, a borderline Key and Peele skit here. But I can imagine someone trying to be culturally appropriate about, and I really felt your message about how you were repressed and you know, as I do my American Dad voice, like, I really felt your pain in your rhymes, homie. Yeah. I really felt it. I really got down with that shit. Like, yeah, there's some people over the years, you know, of playing softball, obviously, that when they say that shit, when they're like, yeah, I heard you be rapping and shit, and I was like, yeah, and like I said, I mean, I'm not lying. This is exactly how I respond. I'm like, yeah, and they're like, and that's how I kind of gauge whether they're really like, I heard a song, or I heard that you rap, and those are two different things. Because then you get those dudes who like automatically feel like that means you sound like every other dickhead that's on the radio right now. And so they'll be like, yeah, you know, man, I used to rap a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I was out here doing that shit. I'm like, man, nope. It's worse, you know. And again, it's a real quick. It's one of those things where when I actually used to perform a lot, you're at a show, and any rapper, any musician almost well, it's more prevalent with rappers. Absolutely. I was gonna say it's all musicians, all bands, all singers, etc. Right? But it's more prevalent with rappers because I could be standing in the audience, I could be standing in the crowd just chilling, and that's me. Because hell, I'm at the show, and 99% of these people don't even know that I'm one of the acts on the bill. I could be the main act, and I'll just be chilling. So then all of a sudden, I'll go up, I'll rap, I'll do my thing, blah, blah, blah. I come off the stage and I'm back to doing just like, yeah, I'm here, I'm ready to go home. Then the dudes will immediately start rapping in your ear. Like, dog, I don't need your song. Let me kick a verse for you. Like, no, you got to hear this hook.
Yo, this is what I would have did on your song. Okay, that's cool. But let me get you to go do that somewhere the fuck else because I'm not interested. And I've had softball dudes hit me like, yo, so yeah, we should do a track. And I'm like, I don't even really be rapping like that no more, bro. Like I just be, I'm just over here chilling. But I did have one
dude. Drop what you're doing because I got to become a rap star now.
I had one dude, and God bless his soul. I can't remember his name right now, but I used to see him all the time. And of course, you know, especially in kid ball or whatever, I play first base all the time, right? And so the problem with playing first base is
you gotta say hello.
you gotta say
Everybody
what's up to
coming through.
everybody. Everybody's coming through to say something. So every
Yep.
time this motherfucker would get on base, I swear to God, this dude would be like, "Yo, so when you dropping a new album, my dude?" I'm like,
when we cutting that track.
and he'll be like, "Yo, because you know, I used to spit a little bit." And I'm like, and it's 2-1. Oh, none to waste. Okay, cool. Hey, we got 2 down. Like, dude, who fucking wants it? I don't fucking want to talk about your fucking like what are you gonna do? Slip me a demo or some shit at first base? Like, hey, bro, put this in your glove. Get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm a
Look me up on here. Look me on Apple Music. Look, here's my name.
I was ready for this dude to start rapping to me, like on the bass, like, yo. And I figured it would be some old goofy shit. So I try to be, I'm not trying to act like I'm big time to nobody. I just think it's weird sometimes how people approach you when you're, you know, when you're an artist. And I'm so low key about that shit. I don't think I've ever actually out of my mouth said to anybody on any field in any tournament, like, yo, I be rapping and shit. I don't say shit. And then when somebody brings it up, I'm like, yeah.
And let's be honest, since we're, you know, we'll tie it back into I'll tie it back into softball this way. First of all, there are way too many dudes out here, and you know who you are, or you know someone who I'm talking about, all right? So you folks at home, as I say this, you go, yep, we got a guy like that on our squad. If they did rap, if they actually recorded it and didn't do like a karaoke at their local bar, if they actually went in and had somebody do a track, all right, and wrote a verse and a hook and everything that goes involved with actually doing a song, not just copying, not just fucking recording Eminem and fucking rapping over him, or you actually went and did your own song, okay? You know goddamn well that they would be playing that shit in the dugout, loud as fuck, every game, every fucking game. All right. And I equate that because, you know, being more from the rock world, the thing that happens a lot is it starts off with the best of intentions. You share bills with 4 or 5 bands and you're supporting, you're watching the other bands or whatever. And I feel you with hanging in the crowd. I'm a bass player. All right. Most drunk girls just call me a guitar player and I get offended. All right. They don't even know the difference. So I understand about being able to blend in and nobody notice you.
Why's your guitar got only a couple of strings?
Yeah. My favorite one is, why are you so sweaty? Like, it's not even that hot here. Like, you were just watching me for an hour.
Yeah, bro.
That's my favorite. Like, yo, listen, the fucking beer and vodka ain't that good, honey. You stop. Anyway,
for real.
I'm just saying, I know how to blend into the background by accident being a bass player, all right? But it's all support. You guys are great, you know, and after a while, you figure out who's bullshitting or not. But if one person, and everybody waits till the first person does this, right? The first remote hint of a humble brag to a certain extent, like, oh, you know, we opened for so-and-so last week, opens the floodgates. So one guy from each of the 5 bands, like, dude, that's really cool, man, but we opened for this bigger band like a month ago, man, over at this big arena down here. And eventually the funniest part is it always ends the same way. One person out of the 5 just gets annoyed with the bullshit of it and playing the game and turns around and every single thing anybody says, you could call them because some part of it is bullshit. But it's like musical chairs. What's the one that a guy says to try to one-up the other guys that's going to set the other guy off to go, hold on a minute. What's it called played there 2 weeks ago? You weren't fucking there. You guys are playing at that dive down the street. And it ends everything. And all the good vibes are gone. Because the guy can't just say, oh, yeah, you know what, I made a mistake. Now he's got to say, no, man, that's where we were. Well, I don't think we were on the bill, though. They forgot to put our name on the bill. And then the bullshit it's just this vicious circle. But, yeah, softball guys who rap would play their shit, no matter how bad it is, constantly.
Yes,
you know,
yes, sir.
There's a lot of Latin music. I don't even know what it is, but I've heard it so much at different tournaments that I recognize the song. That scares me. I like to know the name of things.
But see, that's a vibe, though. That's a difference, though. That's a vibe. That's a vibe. When you get the Dominicans playing that shit, bro, that shit's a vibe. I don't give a fuck.
That's a different thing.
I don't give a fuck if it's the same song for fucking 35 minutes. That shit's a vibe, bro. You just can't. I mean, you standing there, you like, man, this shit is kind of groovy right now. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I will say this. All right. the Edwin Diaz entrance song, all right, the trumpet guy, it's played out, man. Stop. Just stop. It's on everything. It's on hockey playoffs now. It's got nothing to fucking do with hockey. All right? It's a jam. I like it. I like the use of the trumpet. It's over, man. I can't hear that shit no more. Like, stop. When the mainstream picks it up and you see it on, like, CBS Morning News going to break, it's over, man. Let it go. It's not cool anymore. All right? When the old white people get it, let it go. It's gone. All right? It's going to be Muzak in a matter of days. Let it go.
Too bad.
And the other rule, yeah, if you hear a song in an elevator, no. But, all right, we're kind of getting caught up. So, couple things, real quick. I know we talked about, well, I guess, I don't know what it's called now. Legacy, Elite Sports. I don't know, man.
Nah, it's still Legacy Sports Park. It's still Legacy Sports Park, and then their little that lengthy sentence that they add to the end of it. The elite location, the Legacy Sports Park, the elite location for you to play softball and soccer and basketball and whatever else and pay a whole lot of money for parking. Yes, that's it. Yeah, all of that.
Let me preface this by saying I'm really going to rail on them some more. So in the spirit of fairness, and we talk about, hey, don't say negative, you should say positive. After I'm done railing them on some of this information I have, I'm offering up for free to whoever the group is selling them. I can look it up here. Marlos and I will do a free real estate commercial for the sale of Legacy Park. We'll do some video. All right. It might be like, it might be like, Earl Scheib getting your car. Nobody paints a car for $99 like Earl Scheib. It might be a little 70s-ish. Maury with the wig sales from Goodfellas. But, hey, we will do that shit for free to help you sell the park. And speaking of selling the park, you're going to have to get a lot of money, so you should take all the free help you can get. They officially filed for bankruptcy, so it's Legacy Cares is the group, okay, that borrowed all this fucking money to build that place.
We'll call it an ownership group.
Yeah. They officially filed for bankruptcy this week. I just wanted to go over some of the numbers of money they owe that they listed in their filing, okay? So basically when you file for bankruptcy, you got to let everybody, all right, this is the fucking money we owe people. These are all the people we owe money to. And by the way, there might be more and we just forgot them, so you leave open the possibility of getting added on to the
there is discovery there.
Yeah, so, and in the filing, they only listed their top 20 creditors. So what that means is there's more than 20, all right? But here, let's look at a couple, okay? Field Turf USA of Calhoun, Georgia. Obviously the guys who made the turf field. They only owe them $4.9 million. Icing Investment Holdings, LLC of Phoenix. So obviously that's an investment group that said, here's some money. Here's an investment in your park. They owe them $2.4 million. And then the food services people, which ironically are from Philadelphia, Spectra Food Services and Hospitality of Philadelphia. My family's in the hospitality business, and they've never fucking heard of these people. And remember, we're all from Philly. My brother and my stepfather worked for Aramark for a long time. They are the premier Philadelphia one. They were the ones that had a big building before Comcast did. There's only 4 of them, high rises there. So they owe them $1.3 million. All right, so what? Again, let's just add that up. That's fucking 3 creditors that we're looking at roughly $8 million they owe to. So again, who was fucking doing the estimating on this shit? And I know for a fact that they owe roughly spread out. They owe the general contractor. They owe the project management company because they hired a company to run the job and build it. And then you hire a general contractor who hires the lower ones. So you get an electrician contractor. You get a plumbing, all the different trades have their own contractor called subcontractors. I know for a fact, at least in what's been filed, because they put liens against that motherfucker. They're like, you ain't making money till we get paid. So I had to put a lien. That's what led to this bankruptcy. They owe roughly $13 million just to the contractors who built the place. So when did they stop? The problem is, why'd you guys finish it if you weren't getting paid? That's your problem. But anyway, big problems over there. And here's the thing. I don't know what they think they're going to sell it for, but I don't think they're going to make even, the $8 million. So they're trying to sell it against future profit. And no, in this climate, with what's going on with the banks and the risk involved in anything, and, people trying to get people a good credit to pay for people a bad credit, I don't think anybody's going to take a chance on a premier sports complex in the middle of fucking nowhere. So good luck with that. All right, moving on. And I'm sure we'll be updating that as the weeks go on because there'll be more news coming out. When you have a bankruptcy filing, it gets pretty ugly as far as the books getting opened. So we're actually going to be able to see some of this mismanagement. Obviously, they basically fired the management company and brought in a new one. So the guys who did the fucking high-rise golf carts, they are gone. So we'll see. Moving on. I'm wearing my Joel Embiid jersey because justice was finally served. And basically, the voters knew they couldn't give it to our boy 3 years in a row. So they had to give Joel some flowers, whether they risk being exposed for the frauds they are. So Mr. Embiid finally gets his first MVP. So to celebrate Joel, I got the jersey on and the hat. He's back tonight for game 2, but it's not really helping. I'm not watching, but they are currently down, 26 points in the fourth quarter. But in my opinion, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. They stole game 1 without Embiid. They put a little bit of fear into the Celtics that, hey, maybe we can, win a game or 2 without Joel. But if you play bad tonight, all that goes away. But no way Boston was losing 2 at home. They're too good a team. So we got the one game, and then the Sixers have to do work at home. Speaking of the playoffs, I think a bigger upset than the Sixers over the Celtics was the Lakers taking game 1 against the Dubs last night. What the hell happened out there?
Good
and
basketball.
If you watched, did you just hate it?
No, I said good basketball.
Oh, and then I watched the end of the game, and I don't know what the hell Jordan Poole was doing, but he's not Steph Curry. You're not hitting a 35-footer, bro. I don't care how open.
Nah, see, that's not fair. That's some casual shit. Like Jordan Poole got range. Was it a smart shot at that time? Probably no. Can he hit that? Yes. Was he on fire the whole night? Yes. When you start feeling good and you feeling a hot hand, you have a tendency to maybe overestimate yourself. That's kind of what he did. Has he hit that shot pretty regularly in the year? Oh, yeah. He's hit it a bunch of times. That's not a problem.
All right, fair.
It just didn't make sense to shoot that shot with 10 fucking seconds left when you could have easily taken 2, 3, 4 steps in and made a more reasonable or a more high quality, high percentage 3-point shot.
I mean,
but at the same time, as a gunslinger, you sling it.
Right, but that goes against how the team is set up. You would think that's a crazy statement considering the shots that Steph Curry takes, but it's set up to move the ball and fly. No. I understand. I'm saying the makeup of the Warriors is to move the ball to the best possible,
best
spot
possible
for the shot. Yeah.
Right.
Listen, LeBron was in Steph's hip on that. No.
Yes.
They had him doubled up. I get that.
Yes.
And Steph will pass that out very quickly. He's not,
Yes.
But I don't know that Poole even looked up past the rim as soon as the pass was coming. Like, I don't even think he looked to see what he had in front of him. He had determined, okay, Steph's double teamed. I'm going to get a shot.
He had determined he was going to fire. That's real shit.
And the last thing you want to do is give the Lakers hope right now. All right, because listen, in no world should the Lakers win this series. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying in no world with everything that I've seen from the Warriors, and especially the way they didn't panic once when they were down 2-0 in the first round, all right, and said, yeah, I have your fun, Sacramento, and then just whooped them like a champ does and beat them.
Well, I don't know about. Wait.
I think so.
How do you say whoop them in 7 games, bro? Like that
they
doesn't
won 4
sound
of 5,
like a whoop.
bro. Listen.
They won what? Did you say 4 of 5?
So the series went 7.
But what I get what you're trying to say.
And the Kings won the first 2 games. It'd be different if it was
Kings won the first 2. The Warriors didn't win 4 in a row. They won 2 more, lost 1, and then they won the final one. I mean, I get it.
That's
I
saying.
get what you're trying to say,
5.
but that's not a whooping, bro. That's not like, oh, we just walked in here and whooped their asses because, nah, dude, that didn't happen. And save for game 7, those games were fucking close, dude. None of those games were like the Warriors just outclassing the Kings. It was only game 7. Game 7, yeah, they got shitted on. They were like, yeah, why the fuck are you here? Get the fuck out of here. But the rest of those games were really close. And there was a chance in game 4, I think it was. There was a chance that game could have went either way. I didn't see a whooping in there until game 7.
All right, I'll say this. I'll fix my statement or
all right,
I don't know, change it, whatever.
All right.
You saw what a veteran champion, a championship team, a team that's won championships. You saw the veteran no panic.
Yes.
All right. You saw the calmness and let it play out, and you saw the youth of the Kings start to press, and that's why Game 7 went the way it did, because the kids on the Kings were pressing. They've never been there.
A little bit. I agree.
You're playing, you're playing the fucking Warriors. That's a dynasty. I don't care what anybody says. You know what I mean? And they're hot. So, and plus you got to be looking over and going, fuck, man, Steph could hit from half court.
Steph Curry could hit from the motherfucker could hit from another fucking county if he wanted to. So
right, because like you said, there were games where it was close, and they had to be looking at themselves like, what the fuck we got to do to put these guys away?
Yeah, legit.
Legit. So anyway, that's that was that series. So look, any game the Lakers win, it makes it interesting. But I just look. I think LeBron's a phenomenal player. I'm an old school, so I'm going to give you Jordan if you give me the question. But I think they're two different players in two different ages, and it's hard to even compare them. All right? And I'm kind of tired of everybody taking Kareem and Wilt even out of the conversation. They at least got to be in the fucking conversation. All right? And then Kobe's there. So that's 5 right there. And there are guys you could argue to put in there, But, look, LeBron's getting old, man.
Mm-hmm.
He needs help. And Anthony Davis is fucking, once again, I didn't really watch the game. I only saw the last quarter. But I have a feeling that Anthony Davis was fucking watching again.
No.
Was he in there?
Definitely should. Yeah, you definitely should have.
Okay.
Shouldn't have. No. Mm-mm. I'm going to let you slide, but no.
Well, I admitted that I didn't watch the whole
that time of game. Yeah, you should have just left that one alone. Because that ain't how it went at all. AD is doing his job right now, bro. As long as AD is on the court, as long as AD is not hurt, as long as AD is not in street clothes, AD is doing what he needs to do. Yeah, he has an off game here and there, but dude is a stud. The problem is he's often fucking hurt. Yesterday's game, he had a double-double in the middle. I want to say it was either the middle of the second quarter or at the beginning of the second quarter. Like he was working, bro. He was working just like the last tourney. I mean, just like the last series, he was kind of the same way.
He could dominate. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Oh, look. All right, I'm gonna shut up now. He
had
30 points, 23 rebounds. Okay, good job.
See my point? That's why I was like, why I was like, I don't think that's
Oops.
the one you want. Whoa. Like, man, he was on it. Like I said, he had a double-double legitimately in the second quarter.
Holy shit.
And I want to say it might have been early in the second quarter.
Schroeder had 19 and 31. Okay, if they get bench scoring, that's gonna make it easy. But Andrew Wiggins, watch out for Wiggins. He's not back fully yet. Because he just started playing when the playoffs. I'm a Wiggins guy. Came to New Jersey, went straight to the league from high school.
I'm going to also say for Jordan Poole to actually hit like he did, he was shooting well all game, and he hasn't shot well at all in the in that Sacramento series. He shot like dog shit. Yeah. And so there were a lot of people that were talking shit because it was like, yo, you just came off a series where you were like 3 for 15 every game. And now you're firing up at game winners from the Golden Gate Bridge or some shit, right? That I think is going to be a big difference. If Wiggins can check in, that'll be a big difference. If Jordan Poole continues to play like he had been in the Sacramento series, I think that'll be much more difficult for the Warriors to win. Lakers bench stars keep scoring like they have been. They're going to be very, very tough to beat because they play a different type of basketball, And I think the thing about the Warriors, and I think everybody will agree, is they live and die by the three. And when Clay is on and when Curry's on, which is almost all the automatic and all the time. And when Clay is on, which is probably 75% of the time too.
Well, I'm just going to say
the
Clay
other
was
issue
9
is the
for
rest of them.
25.
Right.
Yeah, Clay was that's not going to happen every game.
Right. So that's why I'm like, if they live and die by the three. If they hit, they hit. They don't, they don't. They have to fight through that.
We'll see. I still think it's Warriors. I won't bet against them until they lose just because of their pedigree. But hey, if the Lakers can make it interesting, at least hopefully it'll be entertaining basketball. As far as the Heat and Knicks series, that's a very easy call to make. If Jimmy Butler can get healthy, the Heat win the series. It's that simple. It's that simple.
I'm with that. I'm with that too. I'm totally with
that. He's just listen. I'm not a huge basketball guy. I check in, I root for my home team, and I check in. But back when we had Jimmy Butler, that was the one time I literally was like, I'm not watching this team anymore. When they picked Brett Brown over Jimmy Butler, when Jimmy Butler just said out loud what everybody knew secretly anyway, that Brett Brown had trouble coaching that team. He had trouble coaching Embiid and figuring out how to make it, put him in the best possible positions. And Jimmy Butler literally in the playoffs just ignored the fucking sets and won him games by himself and said, I don't know why we're listening to this guy, which he's fucking in his right. And then they let him walk. And he wanted to stay. He wanted to play with Joel. They're still friends. You see, I'm still mad about that. Because we might have a title. We might have one if we kept Jimmy Buckets. We might.
Hey, we're not going to do that if shit we did the other week.
Yeah, I know. Let's go to the hometown team. Shockingly, Chris Paul got hurt again in the second round of the playoffs. Shocking.
Oh
never
my
happens.
God, who would have never thought? I could have never imagined.
And you get arguably one of the best players in the league traded to you, and yet you're still doing the same stupid shit. They're down 2-0 to last year's MVP. 2-0 to the Denver Nuggets there, my friend.
Ayton is still
and it's
ass.
not looking good.
Ayton
Did you see that video of him not even getting in the
Ayton
mix
is
for that
still
rebound?
ass. Still ass. I don't give a shit. I know, I don't know if my wife is watching this, but I'm going to tell you right now, whenever we watch a Suns game, my wife spends half of that game going, this motherfucker sucks. Why the fuck is he on the fucking court? Like, he's trash. And I mean, she's going off. And I'm always like, and I'm trying to be like, hey, he's not. I mean, and then there's a point in every game, it's probably every couple of possessions where I'm like, you know what, this motherfucker, Jesus Christ, bro, you make it hard for me to stick up for you. Damn. But I mean, you got Ayton playing against Jokic. Jokic is nasty as it gets. And then if you really want to get down to it, I think another bigger issue is bench scoring. If the Suns bench don't score, they lose. And that's been kind of the problem over the years, and especially this year. Booker's showing the fuck out like normal. KD struggled the last couple games. He said it himself. I agree, obviously, but the thing that Denver has to worry about with KD is KD doesn't go cold like that for very long. He doesn't struggle for very long. And the next thing you know, he'll fucking light you up for 40 while you still have Booker over there putting up 30, 40 points a game. So I think it's gonna be a different game. In game 3 here in Phoenix will be a different vibe, different feel, different game, different outcome. I even think they'll probably take game 4, but past that, it's just hard to tell because you have to wonder which Phoenix Suns team shows up. It also is dependent on if CP3 comes back in game 3 or game 4, because everyone's pretty much saying he's not going to be in there in game 3. Right. If he comes back in game 4, does he come back in game 5? Does he come back at all? Those are things that I think will affect the outcome of that game.
Well, this is the downside of trading for Kevin Durant. You know, you purge your bench. You know, a lot of the guys that got to be thrown in to match. They got to match.
Hold on.
No, listen, they got to match salaries, right?
But they didn't do that though. That's not that they didn't do that. They didn't clear their bench. I mean, they didn't clear their bench to get KD. So if you think about it, Cam Johnson was not a bench player. Cam Johnson was a starter.
Well, I know him.
Mikal Bridges. You could say, okay, he's a bench player. You could play 6-man. You could say whatever, right? That's the only significant change that they did as far as players that they lost. The thing is, though, what you're seeing as far as a lack of bench scoring has been their problem all year. And it was the same problem last year. It's also why, my boy, oh God, now I'm just fucking mind. The dude that went to play for the Bucks, he didn't play all year. Crowder. It was one of the reasons why Crowder was like, why everyone was kind of like, we don't really need him, because he wasn't scoring. And they need bench scoring. They don't need bench D. They don't need bench hustle. They need bench scoring, and they haven't had it. The move to get KD. I'm not going to say you gave up nothing, because that's nonsense. Cam Johnson's nasty. Mikal Bridges is nasty. I'm just saying they didn't exactly like purge their solid core of bench players. They didn't fucking have any that were scoring, and they still don't.
Well, here's the two-prong of that. So unless you get lucky and you get a guy either gets released and you get him, on a 10-day because he wants to play with Durant and take the minimum. Right. The problem is with Durant's salary now, that limits you, like going into next year. Right. You can't pay a bunch of money for your 6-man that you would if you didn't have, stuff like that. It limits some decisions. But listen, we'll see. They got the new owner and you want to make the splash. I'm not mad about the trade at all. You generated
Smart
interest
trade.
from this team.
Smart
and
trade.
You got KD, man. People don't understand the tickets you sold, the merchandise, the other side of things where they're making money. You make that deal 10 out of 10 times, right?
Smart trade.
Yeah, and the way they lost it, they got waxed at the end of it last year. You need to put a little hope back in, and this owner wanted to make a splash, and he's got money to burn. They literally, and I hope this is true. He's trying to he got the TV deal fucking jacked. He's trying to put the Suns on as close to free TV as there is today.
Yes, that is true.
So great move. This guy's savvy. So I'm rooting for the Suns because they got rid of fucking Sarver. All right, I'm good.
Yeah, that's real.
But
there's always that, like that. Yeah, that's real, dude. I'm not gonna front fake. That's real shit.
We don't even know the depths of that dude's douchebaggery. So and the Suns are
just
funny thing
about Sarver. I know a lot of people don't really pay attention beyond basketball, or in our case, a lot of the audience doesn't pay attention beyond softball, and they're know-it-alls.
Right.
But anyway, the funny thing about Sarver is his a good portion of his fortune was from banking, and there's a bank here in Arizona that he is a managing partner of. I mean, he's basically, I won't call it an owner, but I'll just say he's that, right? I had an opportunity to take a job there. I'm gonna say straight up, I declined that opportunity for the reasons that we just talked about, because I felt uncomfortable with the circumstances that surrounded this dude. And it's one of those things where I know there's a lot of corny motherfuckers who use the phrase woke, as a substitute for the N-word and shit like that, and that's cool for you. But there's a
it's the way you said it.
Yeah,
that's cool for you.
Yeah, there's a way that you handle or conduct yourself. And I know some of these people like to pretend that it's no big deal because it's not them. But the problem is when you get people saying that a person is a certain way. It's one thing you get one person, you get two people, you get a couple people that just had a falling out, right? And you start getting more and more and more, and that starts to be the prevailing descriptor. You have to take some belief in that being the case. And with that guy, you just kept hearing so many. It would be whispers, it would be shouts, it would be nudges, it would be every type of discussion that basically centered around him being a grade A scumbag. And I was blown away about how many people were like, oh, that's no big deal. He's the owner. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. And shit like, I'm like, you guys are fucking ridiculous. These are like the same motherfuckers, like, for what it's worth. These are the same dudes that if you call them a bitch on the field, they want to pretend to fight. But I thought words didn't mean anything. I thought it was just words. It's no big deal. But I'm glad Sarver's gone. I've always wanted to be a Suns fan. I've always committed myself to being a Suns fan because it's my hometown. I love KD as it is. I'm a super huge KD fan, even in the midst of everyone talking shit because of his flip-flops from OKC to the Warriors and all that. I don't give a fuck. I love the guy. I love his game, etc. So I'm hoping that they're able to pull that shit out. Am I confident that they're going to do so? It's very difficult to be confident. It's a lot easier to be confident about the Suns than it is about the Cardinals. So I'm gonna pop that out.
Speaking of douchebaggery, right? And I don't know what it is about fucking Arizona, but I was pretty lucky with the people I know, family and friends who were in the industry, and they get to work with different sports teams very closely from the concession side, right? So when the GM of concessions, or they're trying to pitch to a team, they talk to the owner.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a couple people that have been in front of Mr. Bidwell. And I have known for a lot of years before I even moved here that was just a guy was not fun to deal with. Not fun to deal with. And I remember being here when I first got here, and you just didn't hear it, right? Oh, he does charity work. So they did a good job of keeping that shit quiet, right? And I was always like, damn, like, are my sources wrong? Like, there's got to be some smoke here somewhere. Well, it just took a little time. And then when that lawsuit came out, I remember when Steve Wilkes got fired, I went, no, this smells Bidwell all over it. And finding out now that it absolutely was. But reading the stuff that's coming out now from that lawsuit that they filed, they're trying to get that quieted. This guy, and then, of course, the tie-in with the Eagles and my fandom there, and they fucking, fucking, the new GM doesn't understand what fucking tampering is. Calling the Eagles coach and saying, hey, would you be interested in interviewing for our position after the Super Bowl when he absolutely shouldn't have fucking did that. Hey, I'm happy. Got us a 3rd-round pick. And then to read today that the negotiations for that settlement were at ownership level made me laugh my ass off because I could see Jeff Lurie telling Bidwell, like, look, we know what the fuck you're doing over here. Now, you're going to make this fucking quiet or we're going to make your life miserable. And if you don't believe me, go talk to Snyder. Pulling like a Jerry Jones type power move. But anyway, they couldn't even fucking hire a coach, right? All right, yeah, that's got to be Kyle Smoot. Great. Hey, Kyle, by the way, I wasn't going to talk about the Bruins tonight, but I'll make it very, very short and sweet. 1 verse 8. The Panthers fucking suck. How'd you blow that, Smoot? Bruins fucking, Mario's ain't a big hockey guy, so I'm getting it out of the way now. Bruins were the 1 seed. Panthers were the 8. Had to fight till last day of the season, get in the playoffs to even make the 8 seed. And then the Bruins fucking lost Game 7 at home. At fucking home and went to overtime and they looked like they were playing not to lose. And I know you understand what that looks like. So, anyway, good job, Smoot. Jump on the Celtics bandwagon now. Attaboy. Attaboy. You got to win tonight. We don't. Just remember that. Moving on. Dave Portnoy also said, the Sixers are no threat. And then they won Game 1. So, fuck you too, Barstool. Sorry, you know how I get when they troll my team. Oh, anyway. Cardinals just... What a shit show. You guys are going to be very disappointed with your new head coach.
No, we're not. No, we're fucking not. No, we're not. We're used to what the fuck? What do you mean, dude? We're used to shitty fucking shit. Like, we didn't know what to do when DA was here, bro. We were all like, wait, is this shit? Wait, we were like, wait, we were winning? Look, we're in the playoffs? What the fuck? We didn't know. So then when things kind of went back to normal, then everybody went back to normal. Like, the fucking Cardinals suck. Yes, they do. Dude, no, but if you ever
they're going to lower the bar. They're going to, even all the shitty coaches you've had, this guy's going to lower the bar,
man.
Buddy.
There's no, look, when your expectations are already below sea level, there's no problem when you have to swim. There's nothing. We're all over here like we don't know what the fuck's going on, bro. Like I know other teams, like, look, even the fucking Jets, right? Fuck that. Even the Panthers have a level of excitement. The Texans have a level of excitement and expectation from their fans. They're like, yo, this could be a day when we take a step, right? Cardinals fans do not feel that way. Cardinals fans are like, yo, so I don't know what the fuck we're about to do, but it's going to be really bad. And then every time we fuck around and win, that's where everybody gets all hype. I know everybody says everybody's a bandwagoner in Cardinal country or whatever the fuck. Nah, motherfuckers just don't know how to act. It's like the dude who hasn't had sex in 30 fucking years and a chick comes up and rubs his fucking leg, right? He's like, oh my God, what the hell's going on? And then she walks the fuck away. That's Cardinal fans, bro. See, that's Cardinal fans, though. We don't even know what to do in the general vicinity of winning in or looking good at it. None of it. We're just like, yo, oh shit, we won. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, so I don't know. He can't fuck it up any worse than it's been. The fact that we've had a number of coaches, and look, man, most of these players who have kids of high school age or some shit, their kids will have went through high school with 3 to 4 different Cardinal coaches. That's how bad the Cardinals are. You get a year, you get 2 years, you maybe get 3, but that's about it, buddy. And then and there's nothing to show for it. There's no like, hey, look, we're almost winning. BA left, and it was like, yo, so we're gonna go back to sucking now, right? And then it's unfortunate because if there's any indication of how shitty the Cardinals are, BA was basically like, yeah, fuck this shit. I don't want to coach no more. I'm tired. I'm out. I'm retired. Motherfucker said,
figure out how he stayed as long as he did know what I know.
Dude said, oh, it's been a year. Cool. I'm out of that shit. Hey, let's go play. No, I don't fucking want to be here, dude. Cardinals are fucking trash, man. I hate it.
They made J.J. Watt retire early. I guarantee you J.J. Watt comes back. I think he retired. He looked around and went, I ain't doing this shit again. I'll just retire. I got a newborn. Man, I'm good.
J.J. Watt's the coolest motherfucker on the planet in my mind. And even only the Cardinals could get a guy like J.J. Watt and have him basically like, you know what, man? I'm gonna just go home and be rich.
Now,
put it this way. Hold on 1 second. Larry Fitzgerald is the perfect example for me for anything and everything. If you ever want to hear about, if you ever want to believe how shitty the Cardinals are. So Larry Fitzgerald didn't even retire. Larry Fitzgerald just let his contract in and was like, fuck this shit. And they were like, yo, you coming back? He's like, nah. Nick, they were like, you want to have like a retirement show? Nah, I'm good. I'm just over here. I don't want to play no more. How do you have legitimately a top 10, fuck that, top 5 in all time wide receiver who basically is just like,
he's your franchise's best player.
He's like, I'm good. See y'all. Yeah, you gonna come back? Nah.
Nah, I'm good. I'm playing pickleball, man.
Nah. You gonna retire? You gonna put in your retirement? Nah. I'm just shit, bro. Wow. Wow.
I think Larry could go out and play this year. Not for
dude. I totally believe it. I totally believe it. But it's like, what's the value? Because at this point in his career, dude, Larry Fitzgerald's not going to another team. That's why I understand. And that's why I understand. He's just like, you know what? These motherfuckers ain't getting no better. I'm out. I'm done. You coming back? No.
He's all set up entrepreneur-wise, though. He's got
he's straight, bro.
The pickleball team. He's got so many things going. He don't need it.
He's straight.
I'm just saying,
don't need that bullshit.
He could. You know, he'll show up like week 17, get a game, and then go play. Like, he could do some Gronk shit. But anyway, the kick in the balls from J.J. Watt is he's staying in the area.
Oh, yeah. He bought
he fell in love with house. Yeah. So he's going to raise his son here.
Can't no motherfucker tell me shit about Arizona, bro. This is the place to live. I want happy motherfuckers to leave, but this is the place to live, bro.
Like, thanks for picking me up. I love it here. I'm gonna raise my family here. Oh, football? No, I'm done with that.
Nah, I'm good. You got that.
I don't ever need to see. I don't ever see that stupid fucking bubble Mesa again. I'm good.
Hey, motherfucker, say, hey, come through if you want to drink or something. We can chill, but I don't know about this football shit. I'm good, and I don't blame him. I mean, fuck. Arizona's fucking amazing, bro. Like, you can't. Yeah, I mean, everybody who comes here says the same thing. You can't beat it. Yeah, man. I love it. I love it.
It's just funny to me. But yeah, obviously, we'll be talking in the NFL as the season goes here.
Real quick, let's talk about
this weekend. No. I'm sorry. Let's talk about the fight real quick. We'll just talk.
Oh no! I'd rather talk about the YouTube because fuck that fight, bro. Fuck that fight.
Bro,
I don't give a shit about that fight.
Cejudo, he can't run his mouth no more. He's got to go fight now, and it's not an easy fight. Sterling's fucking legit.
That's true.
Mighty Mouse called him the fucking backpack.
Look, bro. Look. I'm a fan of Aljo, big time, right? That's exactly why I'm not interested in talking about that fight.
Oh, so you don't even think it's going to be?
Nah, Aljo's going to do what he needs to do.
Okay.
Yeah, Aljo's going to do what he needs to do. I don't want to give. I'm tired of Triple C, bro. I'm tired of Henry Cejudo in general. I mean, that motherfucker's a technical goddamn wizard. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take away from who he is and what he can do. I'm just tired of him. Like I told you.
Separate it.
And it's one of those things where I'm tired of him. I'm tired of Connor. I'm tired of Nate. And I'm tired of Hamzat. Tired. Because finally he's got to fight. Yes, he's finally got to come back and actually fight rather than run his fucking mouth right now. Right. This fight's gonna be a great fight. Don't get me wrong. It's not gonna be some one-sided bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Henry Cejudo's a fucking. He's a beast. I just don't feel good about the lead up and all that because I'm gonna be honest. The lead up was for all of those months prior. It was all this cringe bullshit. It was all this extra yap.
Completely quiet, disappointing. Nobody's trying to sell shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what. Look, I'm gonna tell you.
The fight's here and you get quiet.
All right, so let me answer.
I definitely don't like that.
Let me answer this shit about Nate, right? I know I kind of got into it the one day, and I'll say why. Dude, I love Nate Diaz in the octagon. I have loved Nate Diaz in the octagon. When Nate fights, I enjoy Nate fighting. I need Nate to shut the fuck up. I need Nate to grow the fuck up outside of the octagon. Over and over, you got a 40-something plus fucking year old dude acting like a 10-year-old and shit. He's always out fucking fighting in the streets and whatever. And then beyond that, every conversation is, oh, I should be fighting for a belt. No, the fuck you shouldn't. Every conversation is always, it's basically the same thing as Henry Cejudo, except with a Sacramento angle to it, right? And I'm tired of it, bro. Like there was a good 2 or 3 years where dude was basically like, yeah, I can't get a fight. And then you would hear all these stories from other fighters, from UFC, from this and that, saying, okay, we offered you this. And you say, no. Well, you know what, dude? At this point, shut the fuck up. I'm tired of hearing your mouth. Don't talk. That's why I said I love Nate. I love Nate in the ring, in the cage. Outside the cage, I need him to shut the fuck up. Yeah, I know he's from Stockton. That was the reason why I said Sacramento, was to be an asshole.
Next level trolling. We know it's a Stockton slap.
Because we know it's Stockton. Yeah, Stockton slap. Yeah, and I would go into the area code, all that bullshit. But that's my point. It's like I don't want to hear this dude anymore. I don't want to hear him. I don't want to hear him talk.
Video. They released the video, so the latest bullshit outside the cage. He actually turns out he got provoked and went. So for once, and this is the problem, okay, that we're so surprised that Nate had didn't instigate shit, but he's done it so much that, hey, fair,
facts.
Kev.
All
very
facts.
fair,
very
fair.
Very factual.
Right,
Yeah,
look, here's the thing. Cejudo 3 years out of the cage I separate it from, champ and all the shit he did, all right? I'm curious to see, the Rust versus a guy who is, in his prime, and Sterling, and who, in my opinion, is a bad fucking matchup for Henry. There are guys in that division that Henry can dog walk, all right? Half asleep, 3 years out of the ring, I still think he dog walks him. The problem is the guy with the belt ain't one of those fucking dudes, all right? Sterling has quietly gone about his business and learned from his mistakes, and he's got a pretty solid fucking all-around game. Not to mention,
I agree.
Look, if Cejudo fucking falls asleep for literally half a second, Sterling can put him out. He can tap him the fuck out. And I know that Henry knows that, but still, it's one thing to know it, and it's a whole other thing to be able to stop it. If you don't believe me, ask Surreal Gun.
Man, leave the guy alone.
It's true.
He's still trying to figure out what happened.
It's true, yeah. So, I mean, I am interested. I want to see how he looks. Very disappointed in the build-up to the fight because of the way he's run his mouth. Sterling never just said, look, I'm here to fight. Now, I'll fucking send you back to retirement, and that's all he's got to do. But the other thing is, I'm not even going to talk about Amanda Nunes. We don't even need to fucking talk about that. All right? The other thing is, he was being quiet, and I was happy about it, and I think we got old John Jones back this week talking about, I might retire after the Stipe fight, but if Francis wants a fight, that's something that might bring me back out. Like, how the fuck you going to do this shit again, John? We've seen this before, all right? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing out there in New Mexico. Just stay the fuck quiet until now November, as you said. Fight Stipe and then fucking run. Just shut the fuck up, John. I don't care if you're the greatest fighter ever.
So I hate it. Look, I hate it because you just said kind of why I was like, I don't want to talk about this shit. Because all these motherfuckers started to piss me off. And I know, look,
it's not I don't care, it's that they're angering me.
Well, I mean, it's annoying at this point, right? With John Jones, it's like I've been sitting here kind of ready for this type of thing because, when there's too much of attention going in other directions, then he has to come out and say something. This one, usually when he does it, it's kind of funny. I enjoy it. I'm like, haha, this motherfucker's a dickhead. In this case, it's just like, dude, just go shoot some guns and shit. You're good. On the other hand, this is the other reason why I didn't really want to talk about it. So this main event, who else is on the card?
In November when they're supposedly
no. This weekend, dude.
Is there a heavyweight fight?
I just want you to keep going. Keep doing my.
I didn't look at the card, dude. I didn't look at it. I'll be honest with you.
I know, and
so you're telling me
that's why I was like, "Fuck this shit." No, I'm not saying that it's a heavyweight fight. I'm not. No. I'm not saying that it's a bad card. What I am kind of saying is, it's like maybe UFC has kind of noticed that they've kind of jumped the shark lately. You haven't heard nearly the kind of buildup that you usually hear for this. But let's be real, that Bilal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns fight, that's worth the price of admission by itself. That fight I'm more excited about than almost, well, I won't say entirely, but almost as excited about that as I am about the main event.
I will say that it was nice of Burns to come out this week and say, hey, we've both been promised. Whoever wins a fight gets a shot. So that was kind of cool too.
Yeah, but I have about as much trust in Dana as I have in
that could change. Absolutely change 17 times before they even fight. So, but look, both guys took this shit. I mean, I don't know Bilal, but Burns definitely took it on short notice. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's I look, that dude's a real one.
I really
he's a
like
real one.
it's not even just the talking. Like, I mean, I enjoy the talking. I get the build up, because that's what builds the fight. That's what makes people want to watch the fight. I think what's starting to kind of annoy me is it's aimless talking. Like the reason why I brought up with Nate, right? So Nate would go through these periods of time where someone would get a fight, and Nate would have been, in his mind, a better opponent for one of those people. So Nate then goes, "Oh, they're all trash, and UFC has pulled me back." And then, of course, all of the news and the blogs and everybody run to him, and you spend, the next 2 cycles with a Nate Diaz is angry about this, or Nate Diaz would better fight. And I'm tired of that shit. Connor's one of those dudes where it's like no matter what happens, he's got to make himself relevant by being involved. But none of those involvements are direct fight involvement. When we had some of the back and forth that was going on between Kamaru and Leon before the second fight,
right?
That was cool because that's what the fight's supposed to be. You're talking about the fight you're about to have. You're not like cherry picking because you're around the corner from it and you're mad because you didn't get in it. And what I feel like is a lot of the MMA blogs and media are focusing on the circus act comments and circus act presentations rather than building the fights themselves. The people in a lot of these fights aren't talking. They're just like, "Hey, I'm going out here to do this. This is." I enjoy that. The ones who do talk shit before the fight and they're like, "Yo, boom, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that." I love that shit. I got no problem with the talking. What I have a problem with is so much focus on these outside ancillary used to be dudes who only insert themselves in the conversation because they're essentially not fucking winning. Or in some cases, they're not fighting at all.
Yeah, they're not even fighting.
That's the shit. Yeah, exactly. WWE, and that's the shit why I'm like,
right, now, hold on.
I'm good.
That Kevin knows this is where I'm going. And I want to give you the difference, okay, between doing it right and doing it wrong. The shit talking's fine, okay? Mm-hmm. But when Connor and Nate go to this fucking vanilla fucking, same kind of answer every time. Right. All right, and fuck all those guys and Nate, they're all pussies.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. There's no thought. It's lazy, right? But let me go back to the guy who I think was responsible for starting this shit, but did it the right way and nobody paid attention, all right? And that's the fucking bad guy. Chael Sonnen would talk so much shit. In fact, to this day now he's retired and he kind of lets you in a little bit. He didn't even believe half the shit he said, but what he did, all right? He researched his opponent. He took real world shit, all right? He took actual issues, right, and tried to piss the guys off. It wasn't some lazy, generic, I'm going to fucking choke him out. Like, he talked about fucking his kids, a fucking wrestling match he lost when he was 13 years old. Like, he took it to the level. The best wrestling over the years was when you kind of were like, man, I don't know. I think they really hate each other. Like, there was just a speck of doubt, like, yeah, I know it's predetermined, but he hates that motherfucker. Just the doubt made those matches great. And we knew this shit was predetermined, but the stories, right? The interviews. When in our heyday, you watched Raw because you wanted to see what's going to fucking happen. You weren't watching to see certain 2 guys wrestle like, shit, man, who's DX going to fucking blow up this week? What's Stone Cold going to do to Vince? We didn't even care what it was. We just wanted to see it. That's how good they had us roped in. Now, the problem is, Chael he put work into it, right? And even Colby to a certain extent, he's starting to get stale again too. That's why he's falling off. But when Colby started with the, went the Trump way and did the flip and, he was very creative with it and he kept it fresh. These guys see the Chaels and the Colbys and think it's easy and they don't realize the work you got to put in. Like, I made the joke a couple weeks ago about Connor is basically a character of his younger self, right? Because earlier Connor put the work in on it. Older Connor thinks, well, I don't know anything, and I'm still going to talk shit. It's not how it works.
Old Connor's just saying shit. Old Connor's literally just saying shit.
He don't even, So if you do it right, you could sell tickets, man. And the thing about Leon and Usman, right? Same thing with like a wrestling thing. There's doubt. You think it might be real. With Leon, that shit was from the heart. Like, every motherfucker's been doubting me. that I got to fight this guy again, and they're just writing me off. You know what? No, I'm gonna fucking keep this belt. I'm tired of you motherfuckers coming at me, and I loved it. I believed it. When you could see the truth in the guy, he's not trying to sell a fight, or he's trying to sell a fight, but you see that truth
even if it's
in there.
even if it's selling a fight, it's a fight. That's the problem, and I keep stressing that's the point. It's different when you're trying to sell a fight. It's different when you're just mad that you're on the outside looking in. And that's what gets like, it's stale with Conor. It's stale with Nate. You know, even Hamzat, bro. Like, I'm tired at this point. I'm fucking tired at this point. Do it or don't. Like, you know what I'm saying? And even using your example about WWE, one of the things about it was you never heard these intros. You never heard any of these fucking sells that didn't result in something, right? At this point, we're all more surprised when Conor shuts the fuck up than we are whether this motherfucker's going to fight again. We're all more surprised if we actually see Hamzat take a fucking fight than we are hearing this cocksucker say something. That's what I mean by I'm fucking sick of it. I'm sick of Nate. I don't want to hear shit else. I mean, even this bullshit Jake fucking fight bullshit, right? I don't want to hear shit about it until, like, and I'm not going to pump fake, right? I'm going to be interested. Am I going to buy it? Fuck no. Am I going to watch it? Probably fucking not. However, if you fight, cool. But shut the fuck up for a minute. Like, stop. Every time, like with Nate, it was really bad. It wasn't probably as bad as Conor. But with Nate, it was really bad because Nate would literally, you'd see a fight get announced, right? Then Nate would start doing his, oh, fuck these pussies. I whip everybody's ass. Okay, cool. Then fucking do it, bro. Like, I mean, take a fight. Fuck it. Take a fight. And he won't. Boom. So 2 years goes by him doing that shit. And you're like, all right, dude, cool. You used to whoop people's asses and shit, and that's great. But I need you to do that right now against somebody right now. I don't even give a fuck who it is right now. Right now. If you're going to keep talking every fucking fight, do it right now. Conor, same shit. Conor, we're all at the point now where any fight happens, the fight ends, we all look to Twitter for what did Conor say this time? And it's always, I would wax the floor, some fucking weird ass shit. And everybody's like, can we get a translator? And then he's like, yeah, I would fuck everybody up, blah, 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 blah. Someone proper eventually, 12. Proper 12, eventually goes, so when are you going to fight, Conor? Silence. Hamzat, same shit. When the fuck are you going to fight? And then it's a bunch of lying. That's the other problem. Like, I really can't get with that shit. Oh, no one wants to fight me. No one wants to fight you, or you don't want to fight someone else. Which one is it? Because you can't convince me that a company in the business of making fights is deliberately not letting you.
No, he's getting advice from.
Come on, bro.
Look, he's getting advice from you know who. All right, and he's got people, and person, because we know who it is. I'm not going to, is telling him, like, you don't take that fight. Now, guys think they know better than Dana, and you know that annoys the shit out of Dana. Dana's ego can't handle that shit. So, Dana's trying to be a better businessman and not just fucking eviscerate these guys and force them to fight guys.
Not be a bitch.
Yeah. Which he has done in the past. Let's be honest. A guy would come out and call some shit out, and the next thing you know, he's fighting a guy he should not be fucking fighting.
But I guess that's the problem is, like, if that's the case, shut the fuck up. That's exactly the point.
But Dana's given in more than he ever has before because, all the money they got going, right? But
I get it.
Nope. Come on, man. Come on.
But that's where I'm like, again, if it's one thing about one thing about shit talk, right? If you're a shit talker and you can't back it up, shut the fuck up. If you're a shit talker and you got to go through all of these adjustments to make shit lean in your favor, shut the fuck up. Because Conor keeps doing that. It's a good example. And I'm a Mike Chandler fan, right? Mike Chandler said some great shit about. He said some great shit about.
I love everything he said.
Every fucking thing he said is right, and that in a nutshell is kind of why I'm like, shut the fuck up. Don't want to hear you. Go somewhere. Please fall off the map until you fight. Shut the fuck up. Because that's the same thing. It's like, dude, you've been talking about how you're gonna do this and this and that. Now you're presented with an opportunity, and you're about the actual opportunity. You got something to say about everything else, bare knuckle, this, that, fighting Mayweather, fighting this and that, but not one fucking peep about you fighting Michael Chandler.
He said a couple offhand.
Can't fuck with it.
And I'll tell Kevin, you brought it up, right? And I'm going to I want to go into this real quick. It says, Kevin McDowell, Conor's confidence is damaged. I guaranteed he's scared to fight certain people. Let me let you in on a little thing that I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah.
I agree, but let me tell you something. I am not convinced this fight with Chandler is even going to happen. Because remember,
I don't think it's gonna happen either.
there's no date. Ultimate Fighter's already in the can. It's already filmed and done. All they got left is the finale, right? They'll do the
and you can tell Conor's not training right now.
And it's the first, I think it's the first or second time ever in the 30 whatever, so the show, the Ultimate Fighter, that the major fight wasn't on the same card as the finale. All right.
Thank you.
Now, why is that? It's not Chandler. We all know that. Nope. Conor can say whatever the fuck he wants. It's not Chandler
working, bro.
And I love everything Chandler's saying because look, he's doing, he's got respect for Conor. So at the beginning of his statement, he gives the guys flowers but he says it the right way. Like, you were great. You did change the fight game. All right. We're here because of you. Yeah. But I'm going to fucking retire you in this fight.
Yes. And I love it. I love it.
I think if it happens, Conor ain't, he can't break his leg to get out of this one, son. He's getting lumped up.
Oh, he's getting
going
worked.
night.
Getting worked.
Chandler wants that knockout. But anyway, real quick, there's a U-Trip tournament this weekend. I just want to talk about the teams and how they broke them up. Shout out to Bob
teams.
for, I know. Look, they pushed Heat and Amigos, the former Amigos that are now KB West Coast. Look, it's a fucking super team. I'm just gonna say it, all right. 50 super team. Push them both into major, along with Miezi Lawyers, former Blue Point, Blue Pill, and Bandits. So that should be a great majors division this weekend. Then AAA for him, Aces, Brew Crew, Complete Chaos, which looks to be basically old Big Hawks, Dirty Money, which here we get that weird one major in one place, AAA in another thing. Sandbaggers, also that weird major in one place, AAA in another. And then SOBs, Sonoran Pavers, who they're not falling in that category yet. We'll see. And it's still stroking. Also, they actually got women's out there. They got 4 women's 40s AAA, Arizona Desert Bells, Just Older Youth, N2S, and Unfinished Business. So if I got to do predictions very quickly, Unfinished Business will win the women's. AAA. Do I think? You know what?
Yeah, AAA. I'm going with Pavers because I'm going to be there. Pow!
Oh,
that's what I said.
Oh, you're playing
That's
now?
what I fucking said. Yeah, I'm playing this weekend, bro. Yeah, I'm.
Well, good.
You know me. I ain't betting against me. I can't bet against me. That's weird.
No, and that's fine, but I will.
And I took my meds, so I'm on there, bro. It's on.
Shit. You should have told me that before. Now I'm definitely going to pick it.
Yep.
The meds change everything.
Oh man.
Baggers has their full roster this weekend, so I'm going to go with them. Again, I kind of like the Bandits thing. I pick them until they lose.
Yeah,
and
Bandits for me for major, yeah.
For major, we're picking the Bandits. So there you go. There's your predictions for all 2 of you that are going to break my balls, in chat or in message later. Well, you didn't predict anything. Well, there's your fucking predictions. The jinx is over. Thanks to the glue guys, there's no more jinx because Marlos got rid of it when I was doing this shit solo. Abso-fucking-lutely. I was trying to curse you motherfuckers. Absolutely.
Oh, shit.
So next week, we'll give you the results of the U-Trip tournament. We will talk about, I'm sure, the result of Sterling Cejudo. I'm pretty sure we're going to be giving Sterling his flowers. I'm just curious if it's a decision or a fucking choke out.
All right, Burns and Bilal, who you got?
Is that's on this card too? I thought that was
in
2 weeks.
Yes, it's his card.
Fuck, man.
I didn't want to go through the whole card. That's why I said,
I know.
Who you got? This is tough. I know.
It's a coin flip, but I'm gonna go up Bilal just because Burns just fought. Even though Jorge, that went longer than it should have, and I think it's gonna cost Burns this fight. Burns had to work more than he should have.
Right,
I like Bilal. Plus, all the people that said they wouldn't fight Bilal if he got the shot, I want him to win now to see the fucking chaos of these guys who said, "Well, we're friends. I don't want to fight." Bitch, get in that fucking cage. So that's another reason.
I'm going with Bilal. I always go with Bilal. I love Bilal. I like Burns. I know I've said that before. I like Burns, but Bilal is a hell of a fighter. He's had a lot of time to get ready. Even the fight against him, the fight between him and Leon was a lot closer than everyone wants to believe, other than the eye gouge, we're gonna call it.
Oh, Leon was having trouble with his unorthodox style in that fight.
Exactly.
And Leon survived. Let's just the eye gouge was a big deal, but in my mind, Leon won the fight, but he survived.
Leon got away. He got away.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Yeah, so I agree with you guys though. I think the turnaround from the Masvidal fight for Burns may be a little quick. Also because Bilal is a very, very different fighter than Jorge. Even in Jorge's current state, they are night and day in terms of fighters. However, let's be clear, both are exceptional wrestlers. Now, obviously, Jorge's wrestling has maybe deteriorated a little bit, if you want to call it that, but he gave Gil fucking fits.
His defense
current
was
state.
very good.
Exactly. Good. At his current state, he gave Gil fits. Bilal is considered a little, he's that type of wrestler, that type of grappler. He has that type of skill. I think it's going to be a great fight, but I'm shooting for Bilal as well.
Yeah, Burnsy isn't used to being on his back heels, and Bilal will switch things up very quickly. He will come forward. Agreed. He will press.
Agreed.
And Jorge was not pressing. He knew he didn't have it, so he was playing defense. So if Burns tries to push Bilal, he will pay for it. Now, in the same regard, Bilal makes 1/4 of a second mistake, and Burns can put him on the ground and knock him out.
Yes,
so there's so many
very
different variables here. It's going to be, I agree, a great fight. Bilal, I think, has finally stopped being a nice guy. I agree with McDill. He's tired of this shit. He tried to do it right. I was like, fuck you guys. I keep winning. If this is how I got to do it, fine.
No
so I agree with that.
Yep.
And that, a pissed off fighter is a good thing. Hey, we'll talk about that shit next week, too. We're due to have Corey back at some point. I got to see if he's, off his perpetual vacation.
I mean, I was going to say superstars in their travel time.
I got to get with his people. I got to get with his people and see what his schedule is.
See if you can schedule some time with the guys.
So we'll see. I'm not playing softball this weekend. I'm playing golf. You can have your fun with your meds and Sonoran, and I'm sure the net will make an appearance because that's the only sanction they can use it in. So I'm sure we'll have more bitching and complaining about how the net isn't a factor, but you lost the game. Which I should just take Sonoran just for the net. Because again, it's selfishly entertaining to me to listen to guys like, that shit don't matter, and then fucking an hour later go, well, that's pussy's bullshit, and they're using that fucking net. Like, it didn't matter an hour ago. What happened there,
it didn't matter.
slugger?
If it didn't matter, it shouldn't matter now, bro.
What happened? What happened to career 800 hitter? What happened to you there? Oh, yeah, was it your peripheral?
Yeah, I was struggling because the net changed my viewpoint, and then it made my back, and then my elbow was hurting and then the net.
You know what?
Shut up. Yeah,
Basinger, I want you to paint that thing fucking bright orange. I'll give you the marking paint. I have it in my work truck.
Hey, the edge of it is
Let's paint it neon orange.
Yeah,
I know it's like a red, but no, I'll get the neon green. All those dudes you see working out there in the trenches, it'll look just like their shirts, brother. So they really want to be annoyed with it. Let's go all the way. Because listen, I know the rule, and currently they'll probably change it now. Fuck, but there's no rule that says what color it needs to be. It's literally dimensions, gentlemen. Just remember that. So I'm looking forward to hearing the stories.
They worried about them net. Yeah, they worried about the net. They ain't worried about the colors.
They ain't worried about the colors.
Yeah, they'll be whining no matter what. I'm saying no. They're gonna be whining no matter what. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna whine about the net, the color. It was this. It was the size. It was the height. Yeah, fuck all that, dude.
I like giving. I'm all right. So maybe I'm gaslighting it by making it a neon color. Like, see, it's affecting. No, it's not the net, brother. You have a weak mind. If Luke Skywalker or if Obi-Wan was around, dude, you'd be, these aren't the droids we're looking for with certain pitches. You're so weak-minded. Sure. Get out of here. All right, hey, we'll see you next week. Go. Enjoy the fights. Good luck, Los, this weekend. And of course, the net never loses.
That's right. Peace.